using raw dog food for my 3 dogs. I have a miniature poodle, a chihuahua, and a Doberman. So I'm just going to go over all the tools that I use to make their food and what ingredients we're going to be using today. So let's jump right into it. So to start off with, the tools that I use these deli containers to freeze the food and to store it. I use a large pot just to put all the food and mix it together. We have a cutting board, a knife, a wooden spoon, food processor to grind the food up even smaller, gloves since we're dealing with raw meat, trash bag for throwing everything away. The ingredients that are going in the food today, we have 2 bags of mixed vegetables. It has broccoli, green beans, carrots, red peppers, wax beans, and yellow peppers. We're going to be doing blueberries, apples, brown rice. We also have some pumpkin puree, eggs, and the supplements that I'm using. Seaweed calcium. I use this obviously for calcium, but they usually get raw bones in the summertime and they eat their bones outside. I don't let them eat them in the house just because it's a mess. So during the winter time, we use the calcium. It's just a lot easier for me, and then we're going back to bones in the summer. And for a multivitamin, I like the Missing Link Veterinary Formula Canine Skin and Coat. It's just to fill in any nutritional gaps. And as for the proteins, we're going to use kidney from a cow. Then we have liver. And we're also doing beef, pork, and turkey. So let's get started. So the first step I usually do is start making the brown rice. This one takes about 45 minutes to make, so I want it to be pretty much overcooked. Would be better than undercooked, so I do overcook it just a little bit. Easier for them to digest it that way. I'm using about 2 cups. All right, so let's get the apples put in here first. And I add them to my pot. All right, then we're gonna do the blueberries. And the reason why I do cut them up so small is because my Chihuahua has a hard time eating. Anything this size would be too much for him. So I make it nice and small for him, but it also makes it easier for the dogs to digest it. And if you have picky eaters, sometimes they just spit them right out. Then we add that to the batch. Then we're putting the vegetables in. Okay, now for the pumpkin puree. Now we're gonna add all the eggs. And this is the Missing Link supplement. I'm just gonna add that on top of all of this. And then this is the calcium supplement. Just throw that on top as well. All right, now for the water. I add the water just to help mix everything together. It can get pretty difficult to stir after a while without the water. And it's also good for the dogs to have extra water in their food. I'm stirring it all up now. All right, now we're gonna get to the meat, and this is when I put my gloves on, since we're dealing with the raw meat right now. This is the liver, and I put it in here. It's very slimy. And liver is very important, actually. It's kind of like where they get all their vitamins in their food, like the vitamins and minerals. So liver is an essential part of the raw diet. And so is other secreting organs like spleens, pancreas, kidney. All right, then I add the liver to the rest of the mixture. So that's the liver. Good. Oh, you just see all the goodness in there. Huh, Lotus? You want some? Look at Lotus. I'm gonna make a kidney smoothie. And the kidney. Now I'm cutting up pork, and pork is considered a red meat, and red meats are important in their diet so they can have iron. And turkey is more of a lean meat, but I do like to include lean meats into their diet as well. We just kind of repeat the whole process, just cutting up the meat, food processor. Lotus always gets a couple snacks. It's her favorite spot to be. You know where the food's at home. I know a lot of people worry about pork because they're worried about like getting trichinosis. I believe I'm saying that right. But usually, because this is human grade meat, I bought this at Sam's Club. It's usually bred out of the human grade pigs. So I don't really worry about it, but if you do worry a little bit, just freeze the meat for a few weeks before you let your dogs eat it, and you'll be fine. As long as it's not wild caught. You got the beef, the beef, the beef. That's for everybody, you gotta share. Are you a lizard? Or just a lizard? All right, now that we're done cutting up all the meat, the last thing I typically add is the brown rice. I'm gonna go ahead and put all that in there. And I'm also gonna add some extra water just so it's easier for me to stir everything. So this is what the end result looks like. I mean, it's really not that pretty to look at, you know, like those Instagram bowls you see with all the raw food. I feel like this is just the reality of it for us, at least, for their health and longevity. All right, so now we're gonna start filling up all of these containers full of food, and then we're gonna freeze them.